All right, everybody hear me okay? I think to test this, now that the event has actually started, y'all should be able to ask questions over in this little side pane here. So somebody go ahead and ask a question and somehow say that you can hear me. That's the only way I can think of to verify. And I'm going to turn my fan off real quick. I think it's making a little bit of background noise. Oh, all right, sorry about that. Okay, let's do this. All right, so someone got a question. Yeah, can you hear me? Okay, cool. All right, so I think we're good. So let's go ahead and kick this off. All right, everybody. My name is David Clarkson, and the reason I'm doing this is I started to kind of share some of the results that I've been having with making money online kind of in the last year or so. And the more I shared, the more questions I got, obviously, and people asking kind of how I got started, how I came across it, and if they could ultimately do the same thing. And the good news is you can. Literally anybody can do this. For those of you that have known me for a very long time, you know that I'm not some savant in any regard of the word. So anyone can start making money online if you just know how, right? So let me switch to, all right. So this is just an introduction, kind of a bird's eye view of what affiliate marketing is, kind of how the basics of how you get started, and how you can make a lot of money in not that much time, really. So hit the next slide here. All right, so this is our agenda. First of all, disclaimer, there are some links in this presentation, which, by the way, y'all should be able to download a PDF of this presentation if you want to go to any of those links. Those links are affiliate links, so if you sign up to any of those things, I might get a commission from it. It's advantageous to you, though, because anyone who signs up for any of the software or anything like that you see in the presentation, I will gladly give you one-on-one tutorials on how to use that stuff more in depth. So if anyone does that, just let me know. And so yeah, y'all see the rest of the agenda. So next we'll do the introduction, or no, sorry, references. So yeah, these are the links I was talking about. There's some landing page builders, a couple other things there. We'll get more into that later, though, but they're all consolidated there for you. So a little bit about me. I have zero formal marketing education, you'd say. My undergrad is in psychology, and I'm working in IT right now. So the only advantage that I had really had going into this was the fact that I work in IT. So some of the technical aspects, like building out the landing pages and things like that, was pretty easy for me. But as far as marketing, like demographics and like all the other stuff that we're going to talk about, I had no background in that. I'm pretty much all self-taught, just learned online through YouTube and a course that I bought that we're going to go over a little later. But I went from knowing nothing to basically becoming a ClickBank Platinum affiliate. Really not even it didn't take me a whole year. I ran this really hard for about 4 months last year. And as you see, I did over $330,000 in gross sales. Now, something to note is I don't want to mislead anybody. Those are gross sales. So my commissions on those sales were about half that amount. So I don't want to make it sound like I made more money than I did or come off as like some kind of guru. I'm trying to be completely level with all of you. But as you see, I did rank number 187 out of all of ClickBank's affiliates, and there are tens and thousands of them. So you can learn this pretty quick, and like I said, start making good money relatively quickly if you apply yourself. So next. So the question of the day, right? What is affiliate marketing? And really more importantly, what is it not? Because there are a lot of misconceptions out there about what exactly the affiliate marketing is. And there are a lot of negative connotations with that phrase. Like when you say affiliate marketing, a lot of people picture like that friend from high school that you haven't talked to for 5 years who hits you with the Facebook DM that's like, hey, do you want to like be your own boss and blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I mean, y'all know what I'm talking about. You picture like pyramid scams and things like that. That's not affiliate marketing. Affiliate marketing, kind of the definition that I've come up with, is you're essentially a freelance salesperson. You work solely for commissions, selling products that are made by companies that you don't work for. So there are a lot of advantages to this. One, if you were a salesman for a specific company, you would be tied down to that company's products. Now, as a freelance affiliate, you're able to sell different companies' products kind of as you see fit. So as one product starts to spike, you can start running that offer and start selling that. And then as it starts to go down in popularity, you can find another product that's doing well and just kind of piggyback on other companies' success. So it works out for you because you're not tied down to one company, and it works out well for the vendors because they're not having to pay for your benefits or a salary or anything like that. It's 100% performance based. So you sell 100 products for them, they pay you 100 commissions of however much. You sell nothing for them, they don't owe you anything. So it works out well for both parties in that regard. Now, back in the day, a lot of this was done through telephone calls and things like that, but modern affiliate marketing is done mostly online. And that's why the whole like laptop lifestyle thing is a big stereotype with what the gurus push out pretty regularly. So the biggest, or one of the biggest debates in affiliate marketing is organic versus paid. And that refers to traffic. So this is how you get your sales. Organic advocates will tell you that you don't have to run ads. You don't have to spend any money. You can do something like start a blog or start a YouTube channel or something like that and make YouTube videos that basically pitch your affiliate products and get your sales that way. And the thing with organic is you can do that. It does work, but it takes a really long time. Like, as I'm sure you know, building a YouTube channel from nothing and getting to where you're getting significant affiliate commissions from it can take months or even years. So organic can work, but it takes a long time and it's really not as scalable as paid. So when we talk about paid traffic, we're talking about actually buying ads on sites like Facebook or Google, places like that. And buying ads is a lot faster. You'll make a lot more money way quicker. But kind of the flip side of that is obviously you have to pay for the traffic. Hence organic versus paid. We'll talk a little bit more about that later. And by the way, y'all, if y'all have any questions throughout this, you can go ahead and put them in the questions bar over there. I'll answer them as I go. But if I don't answer it right away, just know that I'll get to it. I just don't want to kind of interrupt my train of thought. So anyway, which I just did actually. So that being said about paid traffic, learning how to run ads online has really become the crucial skill for affiliates who want to scale up quickly and start making lots of money online. So next. So the next part of affiliate marketing that we want to talk about is how do you find these products to promote as an affiliate? There are lots of ways. And first of all, you kind of want to think about the strategy that you're going to take when it comes to figuring out what audience you're going to promote offers to. There's two main strategies. There's broad niche versus narrow niche. And broad niche is this is like big umbrella term here. Like there are the three biggest niches are considered to be health, wealth, and relationships, right? Because everyone wants to be healthy, everyone wants to be wealthy, and everyone wants to have good relationships. Like that's pretty low on the pyramid of needs. So health, that includes like weight loss offers, things like that. And then wealth is like make money online. And then relationships would be like, like how to get your boyfriend back or whatever, products like that. So those are very broad. The logic behind that is there are so many people out there looking for these things that you basically have unlimited customers if you can find them. Then the other strategy is narrow niche. So that would be getting as specialized as you can, like looking for people or products related to like underwater basket weaving or things like that. There's not going to be as many people that are looking for things like that, but that also means that there's probably less competition, which would mean that you could probably run cheaper ads to that. So it really just depends on what you want to do. Personally, I prefer broad. I made most of my money last year promoting health products, specifically a weight loss pill, which some people think that's kind of sketchy. But the problem is people complain about supplements like that because they expect the supplement to do all the work, right? And everyone with any common sense knows that that's not the case. But anyway, that's a little off topic. So the way you find these products, you can go to any of these affiliate marketplaces that I have listed. ClickBank is the one that I made. I think, yeah, ClickBank is what I made all my money on last year. That was the one earlier that I told you I became a platinum affiliate with. It's probably the most well-known affiliate marketplace out there. That's the one that I actually have a link to up in the resources slide. If you want to create a ClickBank account, it's free to do. So another one is MaxWeb. MaxWeb is a CPA network, which stands for cost per action. So that means that with MaxWeb, you don't have to worry about refunds. ClickBank, you have to deal with if someone returns the product to the vendor, and then the vendor in turn obviously pulls your commission back for that specific refund. So a thing with ClickBank is all your paychecks are on like a 2-week delay to account for refunds and things like that. And they also only pay you out like, I can't remember the percentage, but they keep a certain percent of your commission for like 3 months as like a refund allowance. So ClickBank is, they kind of distribute your money in a weird way over a long period of time. Whereas MaxWeb is CPA, which cost per action, you make the sale, they pay you, like end of discussion. So MaxWeb, you don't have to deal with refunds, which is nice. But the commissions are usually lower because they have to account for the risk that someone could refund it, and then you've already been paid your commission and they're just kind of out that money, right? So it's a trade-off. Personally, I prefer ClickBank because if you're promoting a good product, the refund rate should be low enough to kind of offset that risk, if that makes sense. And then Digistore24 is a similar marketplace to ClickBank. It's just not as well known. Like I said, ClickBank is my favorite, and that's the one that I would definitely recommend the most. And then the last option is directly through a vendor. So if you go on like, I don't know, just like a supplement website, if you scroll down to the very, very bottom, there's a decent chance that they have a tab that says affiliates. And you can apply to be an affiliate directly with a vendor and just work directly with them and not go through an affiliate marketplace. If they don't have an affiliate program already, you can email their support or customer service and see if they're interested in partnering with you and starting one. I wouldn't recommend this until you already have kind of gotten your feet under you, so to speak, and actually know what you're doing, because you don't want to offer that to a vendor and then just fall on your face and not make any sales for them. So I would start with ClickBank, and then if you ever want to go direct in the future, I would do that maybe once you're a little more experienced. So it looks like we have, okay, yeah, there's a question over here. Do you personally try each product before you pitch it, or are there generic ads already written that you can use? I don't try each product, but I do research them. So for example, the diet pill that I sold last year, I'd never tried it because I wasn't in the market for it. I wasn't the customer for that. But I did do research on the ingredients and just if I thought that it was actually a pill that could work. And I did think that it could help people. I would never run something that was obviously a sham, just like a sugar pill. But like I mentioned earlier, you still get some negative feedback on that because people buy the pill and they don't change their lifestyle at all and expect the pill to be just like a magic pill. And then they get upset when they don't lose 100 pounds in 2 days or whatever, which that plays into the advertising as well. You have to be honest when you are making your ads. You can't just say something. You can't make claims like that, basically. Second part of the question, there's generic ads already written that you can use. Yeah, a lot of these vendors on ClickBank and other sites, they'll have a page on their website called affiliate resources. If you go there, they have a lot of pre-written ads and ad images and things like that you can use when you make your ads. But you don't want to, we'll get more into this later, but you don't want to just copy them directly. You use those as inspiration to kind of create your own angles and do your own copywriting. Because if you copy them directly, your accounts are going to get shut down. And we'll talk about that in a little bit. But that's a good question. Thank you. All right, so we've talked about affiliate marketing. There was one other point that I wanted to make with affiliate marketing, actually. People have asked before, why do this instead of just selling your own product online? And there's a lot of reasons, but the main reason is, as an affiliate, you're not responsible for customer service or anything like that. So you're not having to handle products, you're not having to fulfill orders or do anything like that. You make the sale and you're done. Now you're not processing refunds, you're not. So yeah, that's just something I wanted to touch on. Affiliate money, you literally make solely from your computer. There's no fulfillment or any of that stuff. So anyway, sorry, I know that was off topic. So getting started, 3 basic steps. This is what it all comes down to in the end, right? And there's a whole lot that goes into each of these. But if you break it all down, this is what it's all about. You go traffic source, landing page, vendor sales page. And here's what I mean, all right? So traffic source, that's going to be your Facebook ads, your Google ads, or your organic, if you want to try organic. You're going to send them from your ad to a landing page that you've built. The reason you don't just send them directly to the vendor sales page is, that one, Facebook won't allow that. Google won't allow that. Pretty much any platform isn't going to allow that. They won't let you directly put your affiliate link into your ad. So you have to make your own landing page. There's a lot of debate about why this is. Part of it is, particularly with Facebook, they want advertisers to be actually adding value to their platform. So they want you to be unique. And if you're sending people to the same vendor sales page that maybe like 100 other affiliates are advertising for, then you're not adding anything unique to the platform. And that's really all Facebook cares about. Google is interesting. I'm not entirely sure what Google's angle is. I have actually directly linked a couple of affiliate links from my Google ads, and it worked for a little while. But I stopped doing it mainly because there was no good way to track my results on that. So anyway, let's break these steps down a little bit. So step 1, the traffic source. Like I said, this is the platform that you run your ads on or do your organic stuff on. So pretty much every platform out there that you can think of has an advertising feature. Facebook, Instagram, Google, YouTube, Snapchat, Pinterest, Bing, if you're a Binger. Yeah, literally like any search engine or social media platform is going to have somewhere where you can create ads. Now, I have tried to advertise on Snapchat, Pinterest, Bing, a few others, and the 2 that are easily the best, the best converting, the best traffic, the 2 best platforms are Facebook and Google. Just bottom line. I don't care who you ask. So let's talk about those two, because those are really the only two that I've had any kind of success on. I thought maybe Pinterest would work for like DIY type offers and things like that, but I don't know. It's just I could never get it to click for whatever reason. So anyway, let's talk about Facebook. So Facebook is the platform that I easily have the most experience on. I did, like that says, about 85% of my sales on Facebook last year. Which, by the way, Facebook also includes Instagram. So when you go in your Facebook Ads Manager, there will be a section where you can run them on Instagram as well, because Facebook owns Instagram. So Facebook is great because the algorithm that their ads manager has is ridiculously intuitive. It's way smarter than any of us. And once you get started running your ads, once you make a couple of sales, it gets smarter. So, because it'll track those sales if you set everything up right. So once you make, say, 5 sales, it'll say, all right, who are these 5 people? Like what makes them tick? Like, what are they like? How old are they? What are their like shopping patterns and blah, blah, blah. All right. So now I'm going to go find more people like that and show them your ad. And then it just compounds on itself. So the Facebook pixel, which is your tracking code that tracks all of this for you, the more seasoned it gets, so to speak, the easier it becomes for you. So you may start like targeting very specific demographics. Like, say you're running, like, for example, a weight loss offer. You're going to think you're probably mainly going to target women, maybe women like over 40. Trying to think just off the top of my head, some of the interests that you can plug in on Facebook. Excuse me. There's obviously weight loss. There's like different like workout programs. Like there's like Jillian Michaels and South Beach Diet and excuse me, there's something in my throat. I'm sorry. Random things like that. So when you first start with a completely new pixel, you have to be pretty specific with your interests, or it's just going to show your ads to random people and you're probably not going to get anywhere. But then say you get like 50 sales or so on your pixel, you can really broaden that targeting out and give your pixel kind of room to breathe. And it'll find people similar to those that have already bought. And it just makes your job a whole lot easier. And we're not going to get like too into the weeds in the Facebook ad manager tonight, but I'm probably going to make some follow-on videos that will kind of deep dive more into the actual platform and show you how to set that stuff up. This is meant to be kind of like a bird's eye view of the whole process. So y'all just like shoot me an email or something if that's something you're interested in. I know that's a big part of what helped me when I was getting started. So yeah, the Facebook AI is ridiculously powerful. And then you combine that with the fact that it's like the largest social media platform in the world, like literally billions of active users, then you have a traffic source that'll really never run dry. That's why it does really well with those broad niches that I was talking about. You can target things that literally probably tens of thousands of other people are targeting, and there's still room for everybody. So sounds great, right? But let's talk about cons. Facebook, modern Facebook anyway, is focused entirely on the user experience. They do not care about their advertisers at all. It doesn't matter whether you're spending $50 a day or tens of thousands of dollars a day. If you do something that they don't like, they'll shut your ad account down like that, and they don't care. Like, so what I mean by that is, about, I don't know, back whenever Facebook first started allowing advertisers, it was like the Wild West. They were letting people run ads for whatever they wanted. So there were ads popping up on Facebook like, hey, do you want to cheat on your wife? Go make an account on this website. And, you know, just like, you know, the types of ads I'm talking about, just the really spammy, like, and so what started happening was that was driving users off the platform, and Facebook saw that. So they knew that their long-term growth and success wasn't going to be determined by the amount of money that they're making from people running ads. It was going to be made by the amount of active users that they had having a positive experience, because the more active users they had, the more people would want to advertise, and so on and so forth. So they started cracking down on what they allowed to be ran on their platform as far as advertising. And that kind of, so fast forward to today, and they're pretty strict. It ebbs and flows slightly. Like if Facebook has a bad quarter, they might like let some like sketchier stuff slide for a little while. And then once they start making whatever their standard for good money is, they'll crack down again. So like I said, they'll disable accounts for seemingly unknown reasons. You can think you're being completely compliant, and they'll just like shut you down. And they're particularly sensitive with affiliates for whatever reason. Like people who do like Shopify and like drop shipping and things like that, they don't seem to have quite as many problems as affiliates. Not quite sure why that is. It's probably because the content that these affiliates are putting on their pre-sale pages aren't adding enough, I guess, positive experience for the user or whatever. But yeah, so that's Facebook's number one focus. Let's see. So yeah, as a result of that, affiliate marketers who advertise on Facebook are constantly farming Facebook accounts and ad accounts. And this kind of gets into some what they call black hat stuff, which is stuff that's against Facebook's terms and conditions. People creating new accounts solely to advertise. And we'll get more into that on the next slide, because it talks a little bit about the kind of the structure of the ad accounts and whatnot. Another con is you have to create a page or a brand in order to advertise. And this actually takes a little while. So it takes a decent amount of time and effort, and it usually doesn't yield a return for a little while, because you have to get the page kind of developed and seasoned a little bit, like get a little bit of a following before you run ads from it. Because if you try and create a page and then start advertising on it that same day, that's going to be a red flag for Facebook, and they're going to shut you down. So Facebook is kind of a long game. We'll talk more about that though. All right, so this is what I was talking about with the ad account structure. So at the top of this pyramid, you see this is your Facebook account. This is like me, David Clarkson. Each Facebook account in general, there are some exceptions, but each Facebook account usually is allotted 2 business managers. And within each business manager, you can create up to 5 ad accounts. And again, this varies some. Like a lot of it depends on how old your Facebook account is. Like I've had my Facebook since like 2008 or something like that. So it actually let me create 3 business managers. And once you get a decent amount of spend on one of your business managers, sometimes they'll open up more ad accounts. Like I was able to create like 50 on one of my business managers. I don't know. It's kind of random. It just depends on the standing of your overall account. That seems to be what it comes down to. As you can tell, though, there's a lot of mythology around these ad accounts. You'll hear all kinds of different stuff. So I'm not going to say that what I'm telling you right now is the definitive word on it, because it changes a lot, and just there's a lot of hearsay. But this is generally the structure. So normally, if you do something bad, if you do something that they deem non-compliant, like say I was running an ad from ad account 1 under business manager 1, and they approve my ad, it runs for like however long, like 3 days or so. And then the Facebook AI scrolls through my pre-sale page, because they'll scrub your stuff periodically even after they approve it. They scroll through my pre-sale page and they find something they don't like, whatever. And they're like, oh, that's non-compliant, disable. So they disable ad account 1, right? And so I'm like, okay, no big deal. I don't know what I did, but I'll try and fix it, because they give you a very broad kind of unknown. They're like, disabled for policy violation. And you're like, okay, great. What policy? And then crickets. Facebook support is notoriously hard to get a hold of unless you're one of the big spenders. And if you're spending like hundreds of thousands of dollars a month, then you might be able to get like live chat support with Facebook. But most of us are just stuck. When your account gets shut down, you appeal it, and that's the end of it. You appeal it, and I hope they give it back to you. And in the meanwhile, you move on to your next account, right? That's the life of an affiliate. So anyway, account 1 is shut down. Let's say it's gone forever. So I move on to add account 2 under Business Manager 1. I fix what I think was wrong, and I start running ads again. I run them for a week or so. And then they're like, oh, you're still screwed up. So sometimes they shut down ad account 2, and because they're really mad at me, they shut down Business Manager 1, which means I just lost all 5 of these ad accounts under the Business Manager, right? So that's pretty bad. Getting a Business Manager disabled is really crippling, because if your Business Manager gets disabled, to get it re-enabled, you have to submit what's called business verification, which means they want to see like an actual business document, like an LLC like an LLC document saying that you're an actual company running ads. So they want to see like your articles of incorporation or things like that to get your Business Manager back. So getting a Business Manager shut down, unless you have an actual LLC, if you get, by the way, I do recommend getting an LLC if you're serious about this, because you can do all kinds of tax write-offs, like your ad spend and things like that. But that's another topic. So if your Business Manager gets shut down and you can't, like you don't have an LLC or whatever, then that means you're down to Business Manager 2, right? So say you're like, all right, Business Manager 1 is gone, so I'm going to do Business Manager 2. And you do something else bad, and they're like, all right, so we've shut down one of your business managers, and now you're screwing up on your other business manager. So we're just going to shut down your entire Facebook account, like your whole account, like not just the business side. A lot of times that'll only get triggered if they think you were like not actually you. Like if someone like hacked your account and like was trying to run ads on it, they'll shut down your account like for your own safety. Normally, what's more common is they'll just restrict your account from advertising. So you can still use Facebook to catch up with your friends and all that stuff, but you can no longer use it to advertise. And by the way, all these restrictions I'm talking about, you can appeal them. I've appealed multiple times on mine and gotten stuff back and everything like that. But there's no guarantees, right? So you always want to have some stuff like up your sleeve in case that happens. That's kind of where, like I said, the account farming comes into play, which that's a whole other can of worms, because Facebook is very good at weeding out fake accounts. I don't know how they do it, but they know what they're doing. Looks like we got another question. If they disable an ad account you have sales with, do you still get paid for the sales made on that account? That's another good question. Let's see. Oh, whoops. Yes, you do get paid for those, because the way it works is the Facebook ad goes to your landing page, right? And then your landing page has your affiliate link that goes to ClickBank or whatever vendor you're using. So once they click away onto your landing page, it's out of Facebook's hands, right? Because Facebook isn't the one paying you. The vendor is the one paying you. So yeah, hopefully that makes sense. Once you're off Facebook, it's out of their hands. ClickBank is going to be the one paying you, and Facebook has nothing to do with that part of it. So if they shut you down, your ads will stop, but any existing sales that you've made are still your sales. So you're good there. All right. All right. So we talked about the structure. Okay. Yeah. So all this stuff that I've learned about Facebook ads, I learned the majority of it from Commission Hero, which is a course that the #1 ClickBank affiliate created a couple of years ago. His name is Robbie Blanchard. So I bought that course. It's a little expensive, just under $1,000 for the base course. But I decided it was time to get serious, so I dove in and went for it. I learned a lot. He breaks down all that stuff that I just talked about kind of how to structure your ad accounts and things like that, just like how to run ads. but the entire scope of that course is all about Facebook. Like, he doesn't talk about any other traffic sources. He doesn't talk about Google or anything like that. So it's a little narrow in that regard, but it's still a good course. Some of what he teaches kind of teaches you to run away from Facebook policy instead of embracing it. But I'll leave that up to y'all. I would recommend it if you're serious about Facebook. It's a good course. So it's linked right there. Like I said, I don't know if everyone was on when I mentioned this earlier, but you should be able to download the PDF of this presentation that has all these links. All right, so next we'll talk about Google. So Google Ads, which by the way also includes YouTube if you want to run video ads. The pros of Google Ads. A lot of people often argue that traffic on Google is warmer due to the fact that people are searching for something related to what you're promoting. So we'll talk about the different kinds of traffic here in a little bit. But basically, Google, people might already have intent to buy something, whereas on Facebook, people are just kind of scrolling and they come across your stuff, right? So another advantage of Google is the platform is definitely more lenient than Facebook as far as like shutting you down for no reason and things like that, like all that stuff we just talked about. It's not really an issue on Google. Google is much more likely to keep your stuff in review for a lot longer and either just reject the ad and tell you how to fix it or just run it. They're not nearly as likely to shut down your whole advertising access and everything like Facebook does. So that means that Google will let you move more quickly than Facebook for the most part. Excuse me. My throat's getting a little dry, y'all. I feel like I'm talking kind of fast. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I'm one of these guys. Okay, so like I said, Google lets you move more quickly than Facebook. The only caveat to that is if you're going to run ads on YouTube, you have to have a YouTube channel, which you probably could just create for the sole purpose of running ads. But you might have to build that up a little bit. I'm honestly not entirely sure on that. I have a lot more experience on Facebook than Google, but I do know a little bit. So some of the cons. So for whatever reason, you would think that Google would convert better, right? Because the traffic is supposedly warmer. But Facebook ads, in my experience, have always converted better than Google. I don't know if that's just because I know how to make better Facebook ads than I do Google because the format is quite different. But it seems to be pretty common among affiliates that like Facebook is the king. Like that's the traffic source that you want. Probably followed by Google. But yeah, Facebook just seems to convert better for whatever reason. I don't know if their algorithm is just better than Google's or what. So another con, the data, and this is pretty subjective. This is just from my point of view. Data is harder to analyze on Google than it is on Facebook. So your Facebook pixel, you can go into your events and kind of break down like who bought your stuff, like by demographic and interests and things like that. And it's just really easy to read and kind of get an idea of what you need to do. Google is just like a lot. It's almost like information overload. Like they give you way too much to look at. And it's just harder to filter. It's harder to determine what steps you need to make. And again, that's pretty subjective. But that's just one of my cons with Google. Another con with Google is unless you're running video ads, your ad copy is extremely important, which your ad copy, if y'all don't know, that's just the text in your ad, like how you're trying to get people's attention and get them to click. So if you're running just like Google search results, then there's no pictures, there's no videos, nothing. It's literally just text. So the words that you write become incredibly important with Google Ads. Whereas on Facebook, you can make the argument that your image or video is more important because that's what's going to get people to stop scrolling. So you got to be a good writer for Google, a persuasive writer. So Facebook versus Google. I alluded to this earlier. Interrupted versus deliberate traffic. This is probably the most important distinction between the two platforms. Facebook is what we call interrupted traffic. That means someone's scrolling along on their phone on Facebook and they see your ad, right? They weren't looking to buy a diet pill or whatever. So you have to find an image or a video or create these that's compelling enough to make them stop scrolling and then read your copy and click on your ad. Whereas Google, unless you're running on YouTube, Google is deliberate traffic, which means they've searched a keyword that you've included in your ad, and they're looking for something that's at least related to what you're running, which again, it would make one think that Google ads would convert better, but for whatever reason, they don't seem to. So the distinction between those two types of traffic determines a lot about the strategy that you're going to use when you advertise to people. Like on Facebook, it's important to create an image that will make someone curious, right? You want them to stop scrolling and be like, what is that? Like what's this about? And then they'll read your ad copy, right? So your image needs to be a scroll stopper. That's what I call it. So you don't want you really don't want a picture of the product, especially as an affiliate. It's just a bad look. I'll show you an example here in a little bit of a good ad image. It really can be something that's not even related to the product at all, which like I said, I'll show you. I've got some good ones. And then Google, you can be a little more direct on Google because people might be ready to buy something already when they're on Google. So you can allude to your product a little bit more. Google's a little more direct. Facebook, you kind of have to be a little sneaky. So that's really the big distinction between the two platforms. All right, so that's all been step one. Like I said, there's a ton that goes into these steps. I'm trying to keep this an overview, but I keep getting distracted. So the basics of a landing page, and this is when someone clicks on your ad, this is the page that they go to. And you'll be building these. I know for people who aren't technical, that might sound a little intimidating, but I promise it's not that bad. With the software that's out there right now, you can build a landing page in like less than an hour. So some principles and just examples. So the three softwares that I really like for building landing pages: ClickFunnels, GrooveFunnels, and System.io, which those are all linked in the references at the beginning of the presentation if you want to check them out. And like I said, if you use my link and you register for any of these, I will be happy to help you build your first landing pages. We'll do like a Zoom call or whatever. So we'll talk more about some of these. We'll talk mostly about ClickFunnels because that one's probably the easiest to use. And if you are going to be aggressive, I guess, ClickFunnels is probably the best one to use. But yeah, all right. So some of the principles that we want to talk about. The first one, and one of the most important ones, is when you make your landing page, you always want your desired action to be above the fold, or at least your desired action should be alluded to above the fold. And what that means is when someone comes to your landing page, they should see the action that you want them to take without having to scroll down on the page at all. You want the page to load, and you want them to see what you want them to do without having to scroll down or try and hunt for it, basically. So, hang on, sorry. So where was I? Sorry, I got a question that kind of threw me off a little bit. Yeah, we'll go ahead and answer it. I'm already distracted. How much time per day did you spend on this when you first started versus now? It's a good question. So that's kind of multi-layered, I guess. Yeah, I think. Okay, yeah. So that's multi-layered because when I first like found out about affiliate marketing, um, I spent a lot of time just researching, like watching YouTube and stuff like that. This was before I had bought the Commission Hero course. I tried some stuff on my own. I tried like email marketing and just like random stuff like that. And at that point, I was probably spending. It was mostly on the weekends, so I wasn't really working on it during the week. But on the weekends, I was probably spending like 3 or 4 hours a day, like on Saturdays and Sundays, working on it. I wasn't really getting anywhere though, so I finally bought the Commission Hero course, and then I spent a lot of time going through all that course material. It's a ton of videos, and so that was a few hours a day for like a couple of weeks. After I got through the course, I started setting up the stuff following the course, and that was, oh gosh, let me think. That was probably also just a couple hours a day. And I mean, the thing with this is like you can spend as much or as little time on it as you want. You know, it's just like a matter of how fast you'll get there. Like you can spend a week building your landing page. You know, if you only have like a few minutes a day to work on it. Or you can crank it all out at once, and then like you can go ahead and start directing people to it. So it's just a matter of how much time you have. It's not like, so I would say when you're first getting started, you need at least an hour a day. I think that's reasonable. And then once your ads are running, it's really just monitoring your ads, seeing what's working, making sure it's still working, and testing new stuff, right? And that doesn't take very long. Once all your systems are set up and in place, you probably spend no more than like 20 or 30 minutes a day on this, which is cool because your systems are in place, you're making money. Like you could be making thousands of dollars a day for like 20 minutes of work once everything's set up. So pretty cool. I hope that answers your question. So there's no like set amount of time that you have to put into it, but it's just like it's like anything else. The more time you put in, the faster you're going to get there. But if you don't have a lot of time, you can still get there. All right. So yeah, action above the fold. I think I covered that pretty well. I talked about the fact that you might want to use ClickFunnels if you're going to be more aggressive. And what that means is basically just like a 1 or 2 page landing page sending people to the offer. So that would be like a quiz or an article. And we'll pull up an example here in a little bit. It'll make a lot more sense. So I'll skip that. So a blog, that's something that Facebook likes to see. Like I said, Facebook wants you to be adding some kind of value to the users. So if you decide to set up a blog, which is a pretty good strategy for like building legitimacy as a brand, you might want to go with either GrooveFunnels or System.io. I really like System.io because it has a really good blog template where you just plug in the articles and it generates them into a blog. It's pretty cool. GrooveFunnels has something similar, but GrooveFunnels isn't really done yet. They're not in beta anymore, but it's still very new software, and there's just some. It's okay. GrooveFunnels is okay if you just want something basic. Also, GrooveFunnels has a free version where you can kind of do some really basic stuff. So that's kind of the benefit to it. So compliance. You always have to have a privacy policy link, a disclaimer, a contact, and terms, right? And this is another thing. If you end up getting any of these softwares through my links, I have templates for all of these that I'll be happy to share with you. Tracking, so tracking pixels and whatnot. I'll show you all this on my landing page example to make a lot more sense. So yeah, here we go. So let me figure out how to pull this up. Let's see. Okay, there we go. All right, so this is my ClickFunnels dashboard. So we'll go to my funnels. So these are all my funnels that I've tested over the however long I've been doing this. This is actually the one that y'all should be pretty familiar with. Pull that up real quick. So I made this page in ClickFunnels in probably like 2 hours. And the only reason it took me that long is because I had to try to get that. Yeah, that looks kind of weird. Is because I had to figure out how to integrate like the webinar and like all that stuff I'd never done before. If it was just a normal landing page, I could have easily done it in less than an hour. So some of the stuff I was talking about, as you can see, action is above the fold. You don't have to scroll down to see what I'm wanting you to do on the page. And then if you look at the mobile view, same thing. Not perfect because I would really have liked these to be further up a little bit, but it just didn't look right when I moved them up higher. So yeah, so as you see, privacy policy, terms and conditions, and then a contact. And you want to make sure all these links are valid. Don't just link them to nothing there. And then part of the disclaimer is down here. Depending on where you're running traffic from, you want to make sure that you mention that you're not affiliated with those sites and things like that. So this is integrated with GetResponse, which is an email autoresponder. I don't do a lot of email. I'll talk about that more in a little bit because that's a big affiliate strategy. But I did integrate it with this just to send reminders about the webinar and things like that. So integrations are pretty easy to set up with ClickFunnels. And then tracking code, this is where you'll put your Facebook pixel. You'll also put it like in ClickBank. I'll talk more about that probably in a future video. So yeah, I have the Facebook pixel as well as the Google tag somewhere. Yeah, so it's pretty easy. ClickFunnels makes it easy to add these elements. Like I could change this here and then publish it up here, and it'll go live within a couple of minutes. And ClickFunnels, yeah, we'll go back here. Like if we go to build funnel, create new funnel, let's just say like sell your product. Actually, no, I don't want that. Let's do collect emails. Let's name it test, build funnel. Over the max. That's embarrassing. Whatever. So I'll just show you all an example. All right. We'll go to this quiz page that I made. So this is the page that I sold all of my pills on last year. It did incredible for me. And it's a Quizlander. So like I said, this was a pretty aggressive strategy. I ended up losing several ad accounts because of this page. I wasn't really adding value to anyone. I was really just using this page as a way to get people over to the offer. And I use the quiz angle because that helps a lot when you're writing your ad copy, because you can say, like, for your call to action, you can say something like, take this quiz and learn more, or something like that. And it engages people a little bit better than just saying, click here and learn more. So yeah, ClickFunnels, probably the biggest benefit to ClickFunnels over the other two that I mentioned is it's the only one that has a built-in quiz editor. The other ones, you could make like HTML quizzes, but those probably wouldn't look as good and it would be a lot harder. So we'll go over here to so these are the questions on the quiz. Let me see. There should be a way for me to, let me share a little bit differently, because right now I'm just sharing the tab. Go to, oh, I'm side by side now. How did I do that? This is my first time using this hosting. Okay, let's see. I want to share. Okay, all right. So now we're sharing the whole thing. So let's preview this page. Okay, so yeah, so we have the quiz, and this is an example of an ad image right here. This was actually the main image that I was using on Facebook. along with my ad copy. So as you can see, like, it doesn't really say anything about a diet pill. It's one of those things where someone's scrolling, they see like a woman like rubbing an ice cube on her neck and like using some soap or something. Like, what the heck? What's going on there? And then they read your ad copy. So it's all about piquing curiosity on Facebook. That's really the name of the game. And then you maybe mentioned something about the leptin hormone. That was kind of the angle for this product. Basically, like leptin hormone imbalance causing your metabolism to slow down. So the product claimed that it could kind of get that back in line for you. So that was the angle that I took with the ads. So I had the quiz above the fold, like I said, and then just some information about the leptin hormone, just to kind of to try to add a little bit of value on the page. And then, yeah, privacy, terms of service, all that stuff. So let's go through this quiz real quick. It's pretty basic. Yeah, and you can edit these questions however you want. It doesn't matter how you answer in this scenario because it's going to give you the same results anyway. So this pop-up says your results have been analyzed, and then right here, this button is where you would put your affiliate link. And I'll go back to the other page in a minute and show you how to do that, but I'm not sure if this is still at, yeah, it is. All right. Yep. So now we're on the vendors page. So this is the vendor's sales letter right here, where they're going to basically pitch their product to the user. And we're not going to watch this, but if I refresh, it should, yeah, here we go. So the product was Leptitox. Yeah, so this is an example of a vendor page. Some are better than others. But yeah, now we're back in the editor. So when they finished the quiz, it triggered that pop-up that y'all saw. And if we click on that, the set action is go to website URL, which is my affiliate link. So when they click on that, it goes to the vendor's page, and that vendor registers that I am the person that sent them there, right? And when you're in the affiliate resources for a vendor, they will generate your links there. So yeah, this is just like a quick down and dirty on ClickFunnels. Like I said, if y'all get the 14-day trial with my link, I'll walk you through all this stuff, and I'll give you these templates for privacy policy and things like that, just so that you can not have to build them from scratch. I think we're gonna go ahead and close this window though. All right, we're back. I'm still not sure. I don't really like this view. Yeah, there we go. All right. So that's step 2, right? Building your landing page. That's probably, well, making your ads is a pretty big step too. And that is too much to cover in this overview. That's probably a future video as well. Like I said, if y'all are interested in seeing these future videos, just shoot me an email or just reach out to me somehow. I know several of you on here like know me personally, so just reach out to me somehow. But the vendor sales page. So the way you choose an offer, the way I choose an offer, is you go into ClickBank, and there are ways to search basically based on what's the most popular and what is converting well at the time. And if you want to do the broad niche strategy, that's definitely the way to go, because you can see what lots of other people are having success with and choose your offer that way. So if you want to go the other direction, like the really narrow niches, then you're going to want to kind of go to like the later pages of ClickBank that don't have as many people promoting the offers. That's really the simplest way to do it. Pretty much all the top offers on ClickBank are health offers. I don't know, people just love those for some reason. So yeah, it really comes down to what strategy you want to go with. So as far as the vendors page, gotta get more out of my gallon. Goodness. All right. Now, once you've picked an offer, you can put your pixel in ClickBank directly to track your sales. Another option, though, is to email the vendor directly and ask them to place your pixel on their page. That's usually more accurate. Tracking in ClickBank doesn't always work too well, because remember, ClickBank is a third party, right? These vendors are not ClickBank. They just have their products listed on ClickBank. ClickBank basically has an integration where when you hit a sales page with a ClickBank vendor, they put your pixel on there. It works decent, but going directly to the vendor is always going to be better. So if you decide to promote a product, go to their affiliate resources, reach out to the vendor. They'll usually have an email, like affiliate support at whatever. Email them your pixel and say, hey, I'm about to start promoting your product. Could you put my pixel on your page so that I can track my sales? And also, when you email them, always ask for a commission increase. You would be surprised how often they'll give you one. Like, say a product is offering a 50% commission, and you email the vendor and say, hey, I'm about to start running your product. I'm looking forward to working with you. Is there any way that I can get an increased commission for my sales? And a lot of times they'll either say, yeah, once you make like 10 sales, I'll bump you up to 60%. But then some others, they'll just go ahead and bump you up. They'll be like, yeah, sure, okay. And they'll put you on what's called a white list, and they'll give you the increased commission without you even having to do anything. So always reach out to them before you start promoting their product, because otherwise you might just be leaving money on the table and not even know it. So, all right. So I alluded to this a little bit earlier. And the only reason I bring this up is because if you dive deeper into the world of affiliate marketing, I promise you that the topic of an email list is going to come up over and over and over. It is easily the biggest debate in the affiliate community. And advocates of email lists will say that it's the only way to do it, and that if you're doing it without an email list, you're an idiot and whatever. People who are against it will say that email lists are too much work and yada yada, and you don't need one and whatever. I fall somewhere in between, because I recognize the value of an email list, because if you put an opt-in page on your site where you can capture someone's email, you only have to pay for that customer once, really, right? Like, you pay for them to give you their email address, and then you can email them multiple offers for however long. So that's the benefit. Traditional affiliate marketing strategy relies heavily on building massive email lists and then running multiple affiliate offers to those email lists. Like, if you build like a health list of 1,000 people, and then you send them multiple health offers, you might make multiple sales off of one email. So that's the benefit. That's why people advocate for it so heavily. The negative is, a lot of times, if you're anything like me and you like take a quiz or something, and then a pop-up asks you for your email address, you're just going to click away from the page, right? So the biggest downfall of asking for email address is it kind of kills your click-through rate to the vendor's page. So that's the problem. The Robbie, the commission hero guy, is like anti-email list. He doesn't do it that way. He says, why collect emails when you can collect money, right? So he advocates for no email list, because he would rather have people just click through to the offer and get more eyes on the offer straight away, as opposed to trying to collect emails and then sell to them later, right? So it's definitely a pain. You have to sanitize your list, which basically means like periodically removing people who aren't opening your emails, and you have to segment it into like different categories and things like that. And it's tough. It's tough to consistently get in people's inbox, as opposed to ending up in their spam folder. Or if you have Gmail, you know that they have like the promotions tab and the social tab and things like that. A lot of autoresponder services end up in those tabs instead of the straight up inbox. So it's hard. Email is really its own monster. But if you really want to try it, GetResponse is a pretty good autoresponder service. That's what I have my integration with ClickFunnels with. I don't do a lot of email, but if I did, I would use GetResponse. I used GetResponse to send the emails leading up to this webinar. It's a good service. It's simple to write emails. It'll probably keep you out of the spam folder. And yeah, I mean, that's really all I have to say about it. If you want to try email, power to you, but I'm not really a fan. I made all my money without an email list, so I know it's not necessary. But if you like writing emails, maybe it's something you want to try. But yeah, that's all I got to say about that. All right, so that brings us to our last slide. We are just over an hour right now, so that's kind of the timeline that I was trying to stick to. So we'll do one final Q&A. Think of any questions that you had during the session, and go ahead and post them now. I'll give it a couple of minutes here for y'all to post any questions. Whew. I'm going to drink some more water. Oh, somebody let me know. Were y'all actually able to download that PDF? Because since I'm the presenter, I don't have a link for it anywhere. So I'm assuming it's there somewhere for y'all. Hopefully y'all got it. All right, here's a question. What's a rough estimate of the amount of money it takes to get started? That's a good question. All right, how do we want to do a live answer? There we go. All right, so let me swap this screen real quick. That's another one that kind of depends on you. You can start with as little or as much of a budget as you want. I get asked a lot, how much do ads cost? And there's not really a definitive answer to that, because you can, on Facebook and Google both, you can set your daily budget for however much you want it to be. Like if you want to spend $20 a day testing your ads, you can do that. If you want to spend $200 a day testing your ads, you can do that. And it's one of those things like time versus money, right? If you don't put as much money in at the beginning, it's going to take longer for you to build that data to figure out what's working and what isn't. Whereas if you throw a lot of money at it up front, you'll build the data a lot quicker and you can make decisions quicker. But yeah, it can take as little or as much as you want, honestly. Now, I will say that sometimes it can take a while for you to start getting money back, just depending on how your ads are working or if they are working. Like if you're running an ad that nobody's buying and you're still trying to figure out the targeting or whatever, then you could be spending, $20 a day for a week. That's like $140. And if you don't make any sales, you're not getting that money back, obviously. So it's hard to give a definitive answer on that. The flip side, though, is if you are on top of your data and your targeting is good and things like that, you could spend that same $140 and make back like $500 or $600 in a week, right? So it's going to vary just depending on the quality of your ads and just how long it takes for you to kind of hit your stride, if that makes sense. I know that's kind of a vague, like kind of BS answer, but I mean, there's really no concrete. I'll tell you from my own experience, I probably spent, like the very first time that I ran Facebook ads after I took the course, I probably spent about $300 before I actually started seeing a return. So I had to dig myself out a little bit, but once it starts working quick, because once Facebook kind of gets on the ball and like figures out what you're going for, like it'll start raking in sales faster than you would think. So you might get in a little bit of a hole to begin with, but as long as you stick with it and just keep testing, then you'll definitely dig yourself out. Just never give up. That's like I said, yeah. I mean, that's really all I can say. Sorry. All right, we got another. How do you stay organized with everything? Organization is probably a top 3 character flaw of mine. That is definitely a flaw of mine as well. Definitely something I struggle with. The the tools that are native to the platforms are helpful. Like Facebook ads has places where you can measure your ads, and they do a really good job of tracking that stuff for you, and you can access it anytime. So you can kind of analyze your data that way. Other organization stuff. Let me think. Your naming conventions actually become pretty important because when you're testing like 10 different ads, you want to keep track of like what targeting you used on each one and things like that. And if your naming conventions aren't good, then you'll confuse yourself. So I definitely always make sure that I use the same naming conventions to know what demographics I'm advertising to and things like that. Yeah, I mean that's one of my biggest struggles as well. So I don't have a great answer for you on that one. But I'll just say that the platforms make it easy as long as you'll kind of meet them halfway as far as organization goes. So thanks for that. All right. Any other questions, y'all? I think we'll just give it like another minute or so, and then we'll kind of wrap this up. Oh yeah, like I said, somebody let me know if y'all were able to download that PDF, because like I said, I don't have any way to view that on my end. Daddy needs a new Tesla. Yep, that's the truth. So did you start out with like $100 a day? I started out with I did about 120 a day because I remember actually I tested 6 different ad sets, and I ran each one of them at $20 a day. So yeah, I started out with about 120 a day, and kind of dug a little bit of a hole until they actually started working, and then it turned around pretty quickly, like I said. So thanks for that one. This was great, and you look huge in that shirt. All right, cool. All right, that seems like a good note to end on. So I think just in case somebody didn't get it or something, I'll email this PDF out. And this was all recorded, so this replay will be available. And like I said, I think I'm going to start planning another one of these probably in the next week or two, where I'm going to like deep dive into to actually like creating your ads and getting your ad manager set up and things like that. Kind of like the back end, like detailed processes to actually get this off the ground. Like this was an introduction to kind of the overall bird's eye view of what I did to get where I'm at now. So I appreciate all y'all, and like I said, if you use my link to get any of the softwares that I mentioned, I'll be more than happy to get one-on-one with you and kind of walk you through how to use them. So appreciate y'all.